No effort makes no money. Say it with me. No effort makes no money. How to shine bright like a diamond. Here's your booth basics. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Oh my gosh, YouTube. Don't flag me for copyright infringement. I'm just like singing my own title of my own little chapter. Okay. So on this episode of Pop Up, yeah, I'm in my pajamas. In this episode of Pop Up and Prosper, there's those earrings again. Aren't they cute? I'm going to enlighten you on how to make your booth pop. Okay. Because no effort makes no money. There is nothing wrong with starting small, okay? See what works for you. You don't need to spend all kind of money in order to find out that doesn't work and then sit up there and run these things back to Hobby Lobby, okay? Get yourself some very basic things, and here is a list. You want to make sure that you have double or triple layer height on your table, okay? And in here somewhere, I'm going to be posting some pictures so you can see what I'm talking about. If somebody is walking down the mall or the boutique or the street fair, you want to make sure that they see something that you have. They're not going to see anything that you have if it's just laying flat on a table. When I see, as a consumer, when I walk by and I see stuff lay flat on a table, I don't go look. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't go look. I don't care what they have. It's worth too much of my time to walk over and say, "Hey, what do you have laying flat on this table that I can't see from like a foot away?" Invest. $10, $20, very nice risers, multi-level shelving. It could just be on the table. You don't need to have separate racks yet. Okay. And don't have these big bulky racks with no inventory or with little items on them. You just have to take a little time to figure out what's going to be good for you. And like I said, I'll be throwing some pictures in here and some examples and stuff so you could see what I believe is a great setup. Now, I may name drop, but that doesn't mean that they um, sponsor my show. I don't have that many people looking so far, but like I said, to God be the glory. I will soon, okay? Eh, Everybody's going to watch my show, okay? So, anyway, you want to make sure that your booth stands out. Look at your brand colors. Do you have brand colors? Do you have a banner with those brand colors and with your name on it? Is your canopy in those brand colors with your name on it? And does it say a little bit about what you're selling or what it is? Make it match, make it cute. And if you cannot afford a branded canopy, because sometimes they run up to $1,000, get a color one that matches your brand at least, and then get a banner. You can get one from, a local print shop, or you can even, I hate to say it, make some out of paper. Just do it. Let people see the name of your business, okay? Same thing with tablecloths. Always have a tablecloth. Don't be having the folding table with all the markings and the rip up vinyl on it. Don't do that and hope that your stuff is going to cover it. It's not. It's not. And I got to tell you, when the business people put effort in their display, it makes me want to stop more. Okay. Um, I started out differently once. I started out with the 8x8 canopy. It was all small and awkward. Now I have a 10x10. It had a gray covering on it. And it's because, you know what? I started when I wasn't ever planning on doing pop ups. And then one day, my homegirl Colleen, shout out to Colleen with Pampered Chef, said, you should start vending. Here's a couple of events. And I did. And guess what? I did really good. And that's what got the ball rolling. I was using like curtain panels from Big Lots for my backdrop, instead of like, you know, the tarps, or not the tarps, those go on the ground, but the siding. I was doing everything, but it looked cute. It's creative. It didn't cost a gang of money. I didn't have it at the time. I didn't know what I needed. I just know I was kind of like looking at the other people and figuring out what I need for myself. Do you have little ropes? Do you have zip ties? A lot of people hate zip ties, but they're good for holding signage in place. They're good for holding shelvings in place because the wind knocks stuff over. Like, how cute is your display on the ground? It's not. Okay. I'll just let you know that right now. You need some good tables. Most organizers allow for up to 8 feet, 8 feet tables. Um, so try 6 because you need the other 2 inches to walk by it. Those are indoor. Outdoor, you have the 10x10, which is typically your canopy. And so you can have 2 8-foot tables and a 10x10 canopy, but make enough room for you, make enough room for the guests to come in, and make sure that you have, a different shape depending on like if the sun is going to come in your canopy a little bit. And if you have candles, you don't want them to melt. If you're like me and have skincare, you need to be creative with how you're setting up your table so the sun won't just come in and ruin them off top. I have 2 4-feet tables. With 2 4-feet tables, you can do an L shape, which is 4 foot, and then 2 on the other 4 foot, and then it coming back the other way. You could do side by side. They're lightweight. You could do front and back. So it's kind of like a square instead of a rectangle against a rectangle. Yeah, so there's all different kind of things that you could do with 2 4-foot tables. And if you got a ton of inventory, then you could do 4 4-foot tables and then lay them out how you want to, all around the canopy in a big U-turn, or all in the middle, or however you feel like doing it. You can do it. Make sure your canopy is clean. Make sure your personal effects are tucked under a table, tucked behind your chair, on the floor out of sight, because this ain't your garage. This ain't a garage sale, and it's not a flea market unless you're at a flea market. But make sure all your stuff is out of sight. There's nothing worse than walking in a booth and seeing a bowl of chicken bones and a half drunk bowl of water and trash and stuff like that while you're trying to sell candy. Did you guys touch the candy that I'm about to eat, with your chicken fingers and your grease and stuff like that? I don't want to see that. Just tuck it, hide it, put it away, okay? Too many people in the booth is a turnoff. How many people do you need to run your business? I don't know. And I feel real petty about saying that, but, like everybody there, I don't want to start, because I don't have kids, right? But, ton of kids, and you got grandma and grandpa back there, and you got uncle, auntie back there drinking beer and stuff like that. And everybody's looking at you like you crazy for standing foot in their booth. Yeah, I've seen it all. But I would say, because I've had my family, I ain't gonna cap, but just be professional about it. My mom, I brought her earrings out. My mom just came and sat with her earrings. And then my dad was out, talking to people, bringing people to the booth. Most people knew my dad, and then I was doing the selling. So it kind of worked out like that. So that's why I said I'm not hating. Just make sure that, people are, now you're acting as an employee rather than just somebody sitting up in there taking up space. That's all. Make your stuff clean and organized. Not too much stuff, not junky. Do you have 10 of one item and one item and 5 of another? Then maybe have like 2 or 3 out at the same time. Don't have all 10. It makes it look like it doesn't sell. have nice and neat, and sometimes less is more. Like, oh, is this exquisite? Is this one of a kind? Oh my gosh, like I need to get it right now because the thing about business is FOMO. The fear of missing out is FOMO. So if you have like one or two left on the table, yep, this is, and you don't have to lie. I'm not saying lie, but like, yeah, these are the last two. This is all I have. Oh, I'm going to get both of them. If you have 10 on the table, don't nobody want that. Like nobody else wants that. I don't want it either. So just have two or three on the table at one time. And then if one or two sells, then put one or two more on the table. They don't need to know. And like I said, you ain't got to lie, but just say, yeah, these are going pretty fast. And they are. They are going fast because everybody thinks that they're about to miss out on it. Okay. Okay. Make sure all of your payment options are clear and in pure sight so people won't have to guess how they can pay. Now, people will ask anyway. They'll say, how can I pay? And they'll be like, you know, signs everywhere. And it's because it's an honest question. Most people don't know that we can take payments by phone now. All I need is my phone and I could tap a credit card on it and it'll take payment, you know? And then a lot of people have electronics that they could pay. They could just send it through Cash App or Zelle and things like that. And no, they don't pay me to say that. I'm not sponsored. Okay, anyway. Yeah, those are different places that you can get credit card transactions. So make sure that you tell them that you take everything and have you some cash and change. Have change. Have change. I know that we dang near live in a cashless society, but stop running over to other people asking for their change. We go and get change for us, okay? Have your own change. Once again, have your business cards, have your signage, have your business name, okay? And, you will see it in the book, but I just want to give you a little picture. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but this is what my canopy looks like. It's a CBD canopy. So there's not too much stuff. You see my chair back there. You see my signage. You see my little table full of CBD, not too much stuff, nice, clean, and almost clinical looking. Why? Because I carry a medicinal, natural, spa-like, herbal health product. And I don't have tons of it. I don't have tons of it. I make it fresh. I make it, small batch so that people can get the freshest product possible. You can find it at butterflyjones.com. It's CBD. It helps you feel relaxed. You could take some to your massage therapist. They could rub it on your neck and on your back because it hurts and all this other stuff. This is like you're going into a dispensary somewhat. Yes, they sell CBD, but it has THC in the dispensary. But it's like this is exclusive, honey. You can't just get this everywhere, okay? You need to come in and see this nice, clean layout I have and have my little samples out. And oh, what is this? Oh, it looks so exclusive. Oh, you only have two more. I need this. You know what I'm saying? Get it together. We're going to get it together. And when I have more products, and this is another picture I'm going to show it, but I'm going to show some like embedded into the film. But this is at the Ventura Wine Walk, and this is the cover of my book. And as you see Deborah's ear art. I have nails out there. I have CBD out there. So I have 3 tables, 2 4-foot, three 4-foot tables, you know? So yeah. Really nice, really clean space for people to look, laid out nice. They're not all jammed up in the front or blocking walking traffic because your table is all the way out and using your whole canopy for your chairs and for yourself. No, use your canopy space for a store, you know? Anyway, that's one thing I've never understood. Like, why are you putting your stuff right on the edge of the canopy so you can get the shade, and now your customers are out in the heat and they're burning up trying to look at your stuff? That don't make no sense. Your stuff is getting hot. I've seen tumblers sit up there and scald people because they were sitting in the sun and people were picking them up and getting literally burnt. Okay, so there's that. But that's this episode. That's the booth basics. Make sure you have a chair. Sit down once in a while, okay? Relax. You don't need to be on your feet all day. I see some people standing and pacing. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Just have you a chair, have you some drinks and some snacks. Make sure you tuck it away. This ain't no soup kitchen. And have fun with it. Have fun with it. This is supposed to be an enjoyable experience where you're selling something that people are loving, they need, okay? And you need your rest. You need to keep your voice for that. So, anyway, next time on Pop Up and Prosper, I'm going to be giving you the vendor toolkit. You will have to wait to see what the vendor toolkit is, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you hit like and subscribe and share with everybody that has the like mind as you that's been talking about getting into business. And I'll help you pop up and prosper. Until next time.